hoping to get their own footage.
We just got a knock, Matt. We just got a knock.
Send up the bird.
And finally proving to the world that Bigfoots really do exist.
Is this something hiding behind a rock?
I don't know. Wait. It's moving. It's moving, Adam.
It's close, Cliff. It's walking towards you.
This could be it, man. This could be it.
It was impossibly large. It definitely wasn't human.
I've been tracking Sasquatches for 25 years.
These animals, in fact, are real.
I've seen them. They're here.
I'm having a really difficult time finding an explanation for this.
There's something on the hill.
Cliff, hello from Las Vegas. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing great. You know, your friend over your shoulder there, it reminds me of this documentary I saw at Slamdance called Big Fur. Did you ever see that, where they reconstructed Sasquatch?
Oh, yeah. I know Dan, the producer for it. I've interviewed Ken Walker on my podcast, the taxidermist. Great sources of information. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the model for Big Fur has been in the museum here. I'm at the North American Bigfoot Center. I own a Bigfoot museum south of Portland, a little town called Boring, or the most exciting thing in Boring, of course. But he actually brought the model here, and I have photographs of him posing with our Bigfoot model, Murphy.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I knew you knew about that documentary, and look at this. That's fantastic. So look, Cliff, you know, the team is back. We got 2-hour special streaming on Discovery Plus. This time you guys are armed with some serious technology. So where are we searching this time?
We're searching in the general area of Southeast Ohio and across the river over in West Virginia. This particular area has been producing a lot of evidence over the last 3 or 4 years. And in fact, even when we were there, we got wind of a sighting that happened that very same week. And so it was a really great time to be there.
And I hear Bigfoot sightings have increased over the past year. What do you think? What do you think's up with that? It's just people are home more?
Well, if there's any correlation at all, it's probably the COVID thing, you know, because everybody who lives in maybe a city center or something is trying to, you know, get out of Dodge, so to speak. You know, they don't want to be around all these other humans, you know, so they're going out to the wild areas where there are fewer people. And I think that's fantastic on a lot of levels, not only because it does produce more Sasquatch encounters, but also I just think it's good for people. You know, it's good physically, it's good mentally, it's good spiritually to get out into the woods. So I'm very thankful for at least that part of it, you know. Then again, I'm an optimist, clearly. So,
can you tell us some of the technology you're using this time to search for Bigfoot?
Yeah. Well, in our search, we utilize cutting edge drone technology combined with amazing thermal imager technology. We teamed up with these guys for the final night investigation, and their whole gig is mammal surveys at night, because most mammals are nocturnal, really. And so these guys have employed these amazing drones that can stay aloft for far longer than ever before with better cameras on them. And their whole gig is going out and like doing mammal surveys at night. And they also utilize the same technology to catch poachers who are trying to stay out of sight. So we thought, well, these guys would be perfect for a Finding Bigfoot episode, because they get it done. Basically, they work with a lot of like federal agencies and conservation societies and stuff, and they catch poachers. You know, it's pretty cool in that way. But some of the other stuff that we investigated while we were there came from technology that people carry around in their pocket, like cell phones or audio recorders and that sort of stuff. Yeah, our goal essentially is it's kind of twofold. As far as what we can find and bring back, what we'd really like is good footage, of course, you know, good visual footage, preferably daylight, of course. But, you know, Sasquatches tend to be largely nocturnal. That's, of course, based on the data, you know, the sighting report data. They skews towards the nighttime. So we think that they're largely nocturnal. So we go out with night vision binoculars and also thermal imagers so we can see in the dark, because I can't without the tools, right? So that's the holy grail for us, footage. And so far, that's largely eluded us until this past episode. We got some pretty intriguing results. So, but other than that, I'm really interested in the footprint cast evidence, because it turns out that most mammals are not really readily observed. If Bigfoots are real, I want to know how they exist. And the only way to do that effectively is by tracking them. So that's my holy grail, is our good footprint casts. And a lot more of that's been coming in too.
Right. It's just, you know, everyone's armed with a cell phone now, so it's like, you know, if there's one out there, it's going to get captured on footage. But have you ever discussed if you ever did find or capture a Sasquatch? It's not to the point dead or alive, is it?
Well, first of all, we're not trying to capture one, okay? And we're also, frankly, we're not trying to necessarily prove they exist, because at this stage in the game, science demands a dead body to think they're real, okay? And now, obviously, none of us are gun people. We're not going to go shoot one of these things. And for me personally, I'm an educator, essentially. Before I was on Finding Bigfoot, I was a professional educator. I was a classroom teacher for 14 years. And that's where my love of science and all this other stuff comes from, you know? So my whole gig, my whole mission in life with this Bigfoot thing, since I know I'm not going to pull a trigger on one of these things, and unfortunately that's what it's going to take to prove them as real animals, I'm kind of trying to soften the blow of discovery by education. Because when I was growing up, my mom grew up in the 1940s and 50s, and like she liked monster movies. And guess who was the bad guy in a lot of those monster movies? Gorillas. And now we would think, what, gorillas? We know they're gentle giants because of the pioneering work of Diane Fossey and the other primate investigators. And I don't want that to happen to these guys, you know? So Sasquatches aren't the monsters that a lot of these horror movies and stuff portray them as. They're intelligent, sentient, peaceful, reclusive animals. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I was a little boy, I saw Mysterious Monsters from Sun Classic Films. And I'm telling you, to this day, the Patterson film has left me so traumatized. It's, you know, just that whole, when it turns and looks, I mean, I had nightmares as a child during that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's probably a lot of the reason I'm sitting here with you today, honestly.
And finally today, Cliff, your Twitter bio says you're a general weirdo. Other than believing in Bigfoot, what makes you weird?
Well, I guess just my perspective on things. You know, I'm definitely a quirky individual, and I would like to think, or so I hear, that's part of my charm. I don't know. I have different perspectives on the world. I'm intrigued by all the mysteries, and I don't believe in most of them, mind you. But there's nothing wrong with enjoying a subject for what it is. Sasquatch started out that way with me, you know, just like crystal skulls and ghosts and UFOs and everything else. But it turns out that Sasquatch actually has the evidence behind it, has the physical evidence behind it that makes sense and is internally consistent and congruent. And that's what really turned the page for me. I like all things weird. The weirder, the better. But Sasquatch is no longer in the category of weird for me. It's in the realm of primatology and anthropology.
Well, you know, Cliff, bucket list. I'm going to head up there to the Bigfoot Center and get a picture with you and with your friend there. And thank you so much. Discovery Plus, Finding Bigfoot. You can watch it anytime, streaming on Discovery Plus. Come visit us in Las Vegas too. We'd love to have you.
I would love to. And above all, for you, keep it squatchy, please.
Thanks a lot.